Howdy everybody, SERGEI DRATCHEV here from Cambridge, Ontario, and you're watching another episode of Heavy Haul TV. And here's what happened briefly over the past couple of days. So if you saw my last episode, what was it, 222, so I took a small cat excavator to Orillia, Ontario, and there was some trouble at the border. So today's Thursday. I was only able to deliver it Wednesday, when I could have done it Tuesday afternoon, but when it was finally cleared through customs, but it was a bit, too late, rush hour traffic around Toronto. So I delivered it. Everything is fine Thursday morning, and I'm coming back, and I emailed my dispatcher, said, so what do? Do I head back home to Cambridge? And they said, yeah, we have nothing. There was supposed to be something from Sudbury, Ontario to Minnesota, but it didn't work out. So I'm driving back, and I'm almost in passing Concord, Ontario on 400. And they call me and they say they have some local work, pays $900. So I said, what is it? Oh, you need to move a small excavator, Cat 320, across the street, quote unquote. And that kind of, sounded suspicious. Like, why wouldn't an excavator just drive across the street, right? It does have tracks. And I asked them to verify. They said, yeah, well, that's what the broker told them. Pick up a small excavator, drive across the street, make $900. Well, to the company, right? Not to me. Like, normally, guys, I don't talk about money, but I just thought I would give you a taste. This is not easy. I'd rather do something where there's a bit more driving is involved, because there's a lot of physical work, right? Anyway, so I go there. It's in Brampton, Ontario, and they're building or they're actually fixing or repairing a gas pipeline. And of course the pipeline runs in a straight line usually, right? So, and they have a couple of sites on both sides of a major highway, which is a local highway, but it's a 4-lane highway. And they had it was like in the middle of the field, the site. So just, so they put a whole bunch of, special like wood platforms on the ground. So I guess that the equipment didn't sink. They had a whole bunch of heavy duty cranes and excavators over there, and I could see the pipes. I think they were just actually laying them down. Probably they were digging, and I think they were probably replacing some old or worn out sections of the pipeline. And that was this small excavator. It had a special attachment, so it was it could lift the piece or a section of a pipe. Anyway, so that's a wood platform. And the guy said, why wouldn't you just drive this excavator? He said it was like 1 kilometer, like, I don't know, half a mile, slightly more than half a mile. And he said, well, we're not allowed to go on the asphalt. And plus that highway was, 4 lanes, and there's no traffic light, nothing. So anyway, I said, okay. So I drove over there, and I had to lift up my trailer really high, because those wood pallets, they were not like equal, height. So the truck was going like this, and at one point I almost cut of course it's wood only, but still, So I raised it up, drove in there, dropped my trailer, so unhooked. They loaded the excavator, I put some chains on it, and drove towards that highway. And guess what? Nobody's letting me in, right? It's a huge machine sitting on my truck. I turn my lights on, All I have to do is just cross to the other side, but there's a constant traffic. If there's no traffic from the other side, there's traffic from this side, and I didn't want to block them, just risky. You can just crawl your way. Like, that's what I remember when I drove a tow truck. Always in the city traffic, you have to do, sometimes you just have to crawl in forward till the people stop and let you in, and then you wait for those guys to stop. But it's like, it can be dangerous, especially when you're like 75 feet long, like my truck. So anyway, instead of crossing directly, I turned right and went to the nearest big intersection. Of course, there's no turnaround there. I have to I found some warehouse, turned in, flipped around, came back. So now instead of 1 kilometer, it was like probably 5, but still okay. And I made it in, and it's also tight, you know. That's all these kind of jobs, they're not actually they don't think that a guy with a sleeper truck would come, you know. It's like everything is very tight. So I was ripping my tires on the curb. It was not pretty. But the excavator, I didn't damage anything, but still, you know, I really don't like it when I have to go over curbs. And my trailer wheels, so my truck I had to go over the curb with the truck. The trailer wheels, the turn was too sharp to get into the side. And then I backed in, dropped the... Oh yeah, but before I did that, the guys, I verified with my contact on site. I said, so it's just one excavator, right? So you want me to pick up this, drive across the street and drop it? And he says, no, 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 no. There's another machine coming back. I said, wait a second. So now there's 2 machines. And I said, is the other one the same weight? He says, no, that one is much bigger. So it turns out the first one was just a Cat 314, which is probably, I don't know, 15 tons, 14 tons. But the other one was John Deere 350, 35 tons. So that one definitely required some serious change, even though if you go, you know, across the street, so to speak. But so I called my dispatcher. I said, guys, you know about this? There's 2 machines, not 1. And they said, well, the money's already good, you know, we're not gonna call them and complain. So, but I really don't like it when, you know, that's what the broker, the freight broker, right? They tell you one thing and you go there, it's a totally different thing, like much more work. But it's still good money. And yeah, and so that one was 350. I looked it up today online. It was, yeah, 35 tons, metric tons, or about 77,000 pounds. So it took me 2.5 hours to do this. So I had to chain 2 times, unchain 2 times, drop the trailer 2 times, rehook 2 times, and actually rehooking when empty was pretty difficult, again because of the screwed up, you know, level of these wood, big wood blocks they put on the ground, like flat, like concrete panels, but only made out of wood, you know. And they all, like, there were seams between them. So I couldn't rehook. I had to finally, like, my pin would not go in, you know, when you're rehooking that big pin. So I just have to lift it. I had to lift it and just drive forward like 2 feet, drop it again, because the ground was more level over there. So geez, sometimes it's like really hassle, you know, like these hydraulic trailers really don't like it when you, because I have 2 rings, right? 2 rings and 2 pins. I have to, you know, aim at each other. So if the level is not ground, it can be a pin, you know, in one place. Anyway, also I decided to say something about the Mack truck. Some guys were asking me, you know, how's the Mack nowadays? So now I have 55,000 miles on the truck, and like I mentioned before, it woke up around 30-35,000 miles. Until then it was just, you know, really struggling with the heavy weights. It was just, you know, lose power. You push the throttle in the floor, nothing happens. The truck loses power. You have to downshift 20 times, you know. But I do run through some you know, difficult terrain when coming back from US. Like over here in Ontario, like here near the lake, it's okay, right? It's all pretty much flat. You still have some hills, but you know, nothing to write home about. But in Pennsylvania, New York over there, US 15, I-83, geez. You know, even I-76, the toll highway, well, I didn't run there with this truck because usually I'm oversized. But still, there's lots of hills over there. So I still wish that I would have gotten this truck with the 410 axle ratio, because it's a small 13-liter engine. But now it pulls pretty good, you know. I did a couple of real heavy loads. If you saw my previous vids, like 88,000 pounds, 85, 83, you know. And so it still works, you know. You're not the fastest guy up the hill, but it makes you money. Why not? And by the way, I was talking to a friend of mine who pulls a tanker, and his friend also pulls a tanker, and that guy is Volvo. These guys are all Volvo fans, right? So they're not too impressed with Macks, and they both have Cummins engines. And this, my friend says, he has like 1 point wasp here. 1.2 million miles on it, and the other guy has like 1.5, 1.6, and so finally that guy is a 2004 Volvo, I think, just like my previous International. So finally he starts looking for a new truck, but no overhaul on both of these. This one is 2006 Volvo, right, with the Cummins, which is like 485 horsepower. The other one is 2004, also with the Cummins. And what I'm trying to say is that this guy went to a Volvo dealer to get a quote on a regular Volvo, like just a big sleeper, 780, but not a heavy haul truck, nothing. They told him, because of the big discrepancy in the exchange between the Canadian dollar and US dollar, so now all the prices are in US dollars. Like when you talk about the truck, they don't even write Canadian, CND, they write US, because they want to wait till the last possible moment to convert, right? Because this way the dealer can probably make some, extra dough. And so they told him, like, remember my truck, 4-axle truck, Mack, right? Heavy haul truck with a 46,000 pound drive axle, 14.6 on the front, 20,000 pusher or lift axle. It's a heavy haul truck, even though it has a small engine, but it has 390 axle ratio, 18 speed tranny. So it is a heavy haul truck. Not the fastest one, not the biggest, so my next one will probably be like 600 horsepower. Will have a 600 horsepower engine, but it still works. It still makes me money, right? Just in this, like that example, 2.5 hours, 900 bucks. My cut is 78%. I hardly burn any fuel. Company pays for insurance, why not? So my truck was 148,000 Canadian, 148,000 Canadian. Back in that, this was what, summer of 2014 when I ordered this. I think back then it was 135,000 US. Now this guy goes to price Volvo 780, regular axles, not 46,000, just 40,000, like most guys order here, right? 12,000 front, maybe 13,000 front, but no pusher, just 3 axles. He says they want 100, what was it, either 65 or 70,000 US for a basic truck, So that's one thing I lucked out with this Mack, is that now the prices are through the roof. So I'm pretty sure when it's time to sell this truck, I can get pretty much my money back, And the same goes for the trailer. By the way, speaking about the trailer, this relatively cheap Kaufman, I've been noticing that the paint just starts, falling off. That's definitely a sign of a cheap trailer when the paint just doesn't want to stay. Of course, cheaper, more expensive trailers, they use a better technology for painting. Here, when I was picking up this gray trailer, I just saw a guy with a gun spraying paint. It's not automatic, just one guy. So now I see a whole bunch of like a piece like this on the trailer, on the side rail, no paint. I can see the metal. So now I have to use, I bought, I don't have the exact match, but this really doesn't matter because it's covered in mud 50% of the time. So I just found a close primer and paint in one, like a spray, and actually it looks pretty good, pretty much the same color. So I just sprayed, but now the trailer is dirty. I have to wait till yeah, those 2 excavators yesterday screwed things up. It was so clean before, but these guys work in the mud, But so yeah, about the Mack, so I'm pretty happy with the performance now, except that I just don't think it's worth it, $5,000 to upgrade the ratio now. But maybe if I'm filthy rich, I'll do it. But 390 is still okay. But if I was buying this truck again, I would buy it definitely with 410 and the same 1860 torque. That's the best feature of this truck, is that it does have higher than normal torque. Like even 15-liter engines. For most applications, people just buy 1650 torque here in the States and Canada, right? That's definitely not enough for heavy haul. So 1860, perfect. Just add a good axle ratio. If you have 410, if you have a small engine, 390 if you have a big engine, 600 horsepower, and you have a winner. Now, 2 things about this truck that really annoy me. One, the beeping. Like, I don't know what these guys are thinking at the factory. You know, they should take the engineer who designed this diagnostic system, because that's what it does, right? When you turn the key, it starts the automatic diagnostic. So they should take that engineer, or was probably a team of 10 or 20 engineers, lock them up in the truck, and have a guy install a remote and keep starting the truck and shutting it off. You know, start. Like, not just start, just turn the key for 15 seconds, wait, release. Turn for 15 seconds, release. I guarantee you, these guys, I'm thinking, what, let's just say 20 hours. In 20 hours of this, they will remember all their misdemeanors and crimes from their early youth, and half of them will go crazy. The other half will quit Mac and switch to, I don't know, maybe Volvo, because I checked with my friend, the tanker guy. I said, does your Volvo do this? He said, no. So now Mac Shop tells me, hey, you know, all you gotta do is just open the dashboard, put a tape on top of the speaker, or maybe cut the wire. Like, why would I want to do that on a 148,000 Canadian dollar truck? Like, that's what I don't understand. And it's so annoying, because you have to turn the key on every time you want to lower or raise your windows, for example, right? I'm sitting, it's becoming cold, I want to raise the windows, I have to turn the key. Burp, 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 burp. That's number one. And that beeping gets worse, actually. There's like a subsection of number one of my beef with this truck, is that why do I need the beep when I'm running low on windshield? You know, windshield fluid. Like, it happened when it happened first time, I thought my wheels were coming off. You know, why do you need such a emergency response from the computer? Well, all you have is a situation with a low windshield wiper fluid. It does the same thing every 10 maybe 2 minutes. You know, if you cancel it, they think that people cannot read. You know, I guess again the same team of talented Mac engineers decided that it's just not enough to show you a message on the screen that says low windshield fluid level. No, that's not enough. They wanna add the same 1000 decibel alarm, burp, 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 and that thing, I'm telling you, you cannot stop it. It'll keep doing that until you refill the. So now, needless to say, I always carry an empty bottle in the summer, so I have to go and find some water, and I open the hood and I check, okay, if it's more than 30%, I know it's not gonna beep. But that thing, so thank you guys for this. So at least the driver will never fall asleep. That's my biggest beef with this truck. Number two, and probably the last one, because it's in all around, it's a pretty good truck. Number two is the self-canceling turn signal. It's a good thing. You know, pretty much the same technology as we see in cars and pickup trucks, right? Like, why do you have to turn it off manually? Like, all the trucks, they were like this. But the problem on a big truck, I don't have that one on my pickup truck, is that there are certain positions of the steering wheel where you cannot activate that turn signal. You know, like on the Mac. I'm talking about the Mac truck. Let's say I'm turning, I come to an intersection, right? And of course, I'm not gonna sit with my steering wheel straight, right? I'm gonna get ready, so before I come to a stop, I turn the steering wheel slightly, right? And guess what? When I try to activate the switch, it's not gonna work. And I try that, and yeah, certain positions, you push it and you hear some sound, you know. Basically, it doesn't want to go in. I don't want to break it. I know it's a very expensive part, so that's my second beef, is that you really have to you know the limitations of this self-canceling thing. You know, it just can be annoying as well. Like, I wish, you know, for the pains this thing is causing me, I wish they would just not be I wish they decided not to be so fancy, but just leave the time-tested turn signal that you have to cancel manual. So that's all I have to say about my Mac truck. So fuel mileage, some guys were asking about fuel mileage. You know, I do heavy haul, so I don't even track it, but the average, I didn't touch it since day one. What the computer tells me, it says 5.7 miles per gallon US. That's my average from day one. So when I'm heavy, I'm guessing 4.5 miles per gallon. When I'm empty, 7.5, 8. You know, but once again, I don't pull dry vans, I don't pull tankers. It can be 130,000 pounds or 120,000 pounds, you know. Not every day, but maybe 70%. In other news, I had trouble with my Honda, right? I couldn't find the filters. If you remember last time I did the oil change, and I cannot find the filters anywhere. These ones. See, this is the filter. Oops. My another piece of paper wanted to fly away, so looks like this. Made by Honda. You can get them on Amazon. This is for my Honda motor that powers the hydraulics on the engine. You can get a knockoff for like $8 on Amazon Canada, but you know, I don't trust those guys because it's a pretty important part of the engine, right? But also one thing I found why I only bought one is that these are actually cleanable and reusable. You know, you don't have to throw them away like I used to. I had like 3 of them and I just threw them away. Turns out you can wash this outside layer, right, the foam, and then you can just use pressure air, like not too much, just blow the dust from the inside out, right? It looks like this. So you just put a hose in there and blow it out. So these guys, last year I bought a couple of these, were like 22 US in Fargo, North Dakota. I still remember Northern Tool. But here in Canada I couldn't find like who sells these parts, you know. I tried Honda parts and I saw results like a motorcycle dealers and Honda car dealers. And then finally it occurred to me, wait a second, let's go and talk to the cat rental place. What is it, Battle something, right? It's like right next to our local cat dealer, where you can rent and buy, you know, like big machinery, and you can service your truck. Now they do everything. But there's this place that you can rent construction equipment, and of course they have all these Honda generators, you know, and that's what my Honda is. It's like the same little one-cylinder engine that powers a generator or a transformer. And I said, you guys have this? I showed them a picture from my GX 390. I took a picture of the front of the engine on my smartphone. The guy says, yep, $32. I said, okay, I'm buying one, but that's it. After this, I'm cleaning them. I'm not throwing them away, you know. Okay, and last news I wanted to mention was Trucker Josh, my competitor, right? So this guy is unbelievable. He's now in Esquire magazine. Come on, what's next? CNN? I cannot believe it. So I looked up some statistics for you guys, because I know some people watch me, some people watch him, some people watch everybody. So I joined in August 2008. I have 18,388 subscribers and 7.2 million total views. Mr. Trucker Josh has 45,279 subscribers, 9.1 million views, and he joined in April 2012. Like, how do you do that, you know? So I looked at differences. Okay, I own a truck and trailer. He only owns a truck. So definitely when you have only a truck, you get more views. Now my truck is a Mack, his truck is a Peterbilt. So again, you see, you need to have a Peterbilt for more views. I drive alone. He drives with 2 dogs. So that's another tip, right? Average miles per month, according to the story in the Esquire magazine, he says he does between 600 and 700 miles a day, or always pretty much close to 12,000 miles a month. That's crazy. That's too much. Even when I was pulling a drive in, you know, I got tired after 500 miles, you know. Just that even when I was younger, it's nothing to do with age, because he's 28, I'm 53, but I guess it's a matter of personal preference. But according to the magazine, so he does 600 to 700 miles for $1 to $1.20, which he mentions as a fact why it's better to be an owner-operator as opposed to a company driver that gets like 35-40 cents per mile. Now that's a big difference between him and me. I drive much fewer miles and I make more miles per month. I mean more money per mile, just like as an example, this 2.5 hour job, $900. But definitely that's another thing that, you see, I'm not getting the views. I'm not as popular as this guy who drives much more miles and has 2 dogs and a Peterbilt. So Heavy Haul TV has some information to think about. So basically I have to switch to a Peterbilt, get maybe 4 cats, and drive 13,000 miles a month, and maybe then my viewership will improve. So I will let you guys decide what's better, what scenario. But those were the things. And plus, yeah, he does daily videos. Where I tried that, it was too stressful, too much work, so I stopped doing that. Right now I focus on projects. So each episode is basically about a haul, right, a move, except sometimes I do updates like this. But you know, I'm glad for the guy. You know, it's great when you get this publicity. For me, the biggest thing that happened because of the YouTube, my YouTube channel, was some guy wrote me a letter from England saying that, hey, maybe you should be on TV, you know. And one of the TV channels contacted me, and they wanted me to participate in this crazy you know, competition where like 5 or 6 guys drive the truck in the middle of nowhere. But I was ready to go, but there was only one prize, and they wouldn't tell us where it was gonna be filmed, and I was just being sent to all these different to get different shots. And I still remember this doctor talked to me, and she says, "Do you know what this is for?" I said, "Well, I don't know, what is it?" And she tells me some crazy names for like serious diseases, you know. And she has, this is, you know, like if you get bitten by like a wild animal, or basically you can die, you know. It was just too much, you know. Even the prize was not that big, and I said, you know what, like, I'm not a coward, but especially when you don't tell us what's gonna happen, where it's gonna be filmed, and then I have to be away from my work for like 1 month or 2 months. Yeah, that was another thing. When I worked for Landstar said, well, you can take time off anytime you want, but if you don't do at least 1 trip per month, your contract goes into kind of like sleep mode. So, you know, if I'm away for 1 month and then I come back, I have to reapply again, and that takes a month, you know. So it was just a matter of it was not convenient. But I mean, I'm just saying that YouTube can help you discover all kinds of possibilities, you know. If you want to develop another career or like a side career, it's great. So thanks for watching. This was Sergei DRATCHEV with a quick update from Cambridge, Ontario. For now, I'm not doing anything. I've been waiting for dispatch to call me and tell me what's next, but for now the truck is dirty and empty, and I'm just fooling around in my Dodge Ram pickup truck. Be safe.